What is up, y'all, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alison. If you are new here, you know the script. But I'm back today with a story time. So as you see in the title of the video, as well as the heart-wrenching thumbnail of this video, my car was broken into and all 4 of my tires and rims were stolen. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. And as a disclaimer, yes, I am in my bathroom. No, I'm not on my toilet. You can kind of tell I'm not on my toilet, but you know, we just gotta clear up the rumors. But I do also want to start off by saying that I'm good, I'm okay, like, I'm good. But I was very hesitant on even posting this because 1, it's not really anybody's business, and 2, I know there's people that are like preying on my downfall. So, you know, I decided, let me just go ahead and post this story and we could laugh about it together, because this entire situation is just pitiful. It's pitiful. So yeah, let's start off with the backstory. So last year, about maybe 13-14 months ago, I had a 2017 Accord and I decided to trade it in and upgrade my car to a newer model. And when I did that, I was super excited. So my boyfriend basically had let me know during that time that my rims was hot and that there's high incidence of crime, especially regarding those rims, just because I guess the style of them, I don't really know. I was really sold because the car had a sunroof and all of these advanced features. I don't really care about the rims. But, you know, it was good to know that, you know, there is high crime rate regarding those rims. And so that's first things first. Second things second, I live in the city. So I live in Washington, D.C. Well, I live right outside of Washington, D.C., but that's not really y'all concern. But through living in this city, though, I have seen many cars get their windows busted in. So before I jump into the story time, I do want to be very clear about a couple things. So number 1, there is nobody who has a vendetta against me because I don't beef with anybody. Second thing of all, nobody knows what car I drive unless they've seen me in it or have rode in my car. And same thing with where I live. That's not public knowledge, and that's not something that I ever post about. Like, I don't care how excited I am about a car or a home. That's nobody's business. So that's where I will pick up this story. So I recently graduated from Howard University, and for Mother's Day weekend, which is the weekend of our graduation, my dad was in town and he was celebrating with me, and he was actually scheduled to go home that Sunday afternoon. And so that morning we had went and got pancakes, and so I had parked my car in our garage, which is fob activated. Like, you gotta have a key fob to get into the garage. And I parked my car at around noon. My dad's flight was like 4-ish, so we decided to leave the house around 2:15 to bring him to the airport. So as I am gathering my stuff and we're walking out to the car, my dad grabs the trash and he's taking out the trash. So he's like walking perpendicular from where my car is parked. So I'm walking up to my car and I kind of notice my car sitting a little funny. Now, as I'm walking to my car and my face starts to like change as I'm realizing what I'm seeing, there was 3 ladies who were in the garage that were walking like down the ramp where I was parked, and they're like, you know, you're not the only one. There's other cars in the garage too. And so I'm still inching toward my car, and I realize that my car is sitting on bricks. All of my tires is off my car, and my front passenger window was punched in.
Ghetto! The ghetto! The ghetto!
I was steaming. So as my dad made his way back to my car, I'm like, you know, Dad, I'm really sorry, but I cannot bring you to the airport. You're going to have to Uber. You know, I'm really sorry, but you know, this just happened. My immediate reaction, aside from anger, was embarrassment. Embarrassment at the fact that this is happening, especially when my father is here, and you know, he's been to my apartment several times and nothing like this has happened over the 2 years that I've lived here. So that was my initial emotion. And immediately I had to call the police because that was unacceptable. And another thing that I want to note is that 2 months prior, my boyfriend's car was broken into. And they stole a couple things out of his car. So again, I didn't even touch my car. I didn't go into my car. I did not do anything. I took a couple pictures real quick. I called the police. I walked my dad out of the building while he called his Uber to the airport. And I went straight to my leasing office. Now, at that point, I was steaming. Because now that my dad was out of the way, I kind of, could release my anger and not try to, put my negativity and my energy onto him, because, you don't ever want to impose on your parents. In that moment, when I went to the leasing office, so mind you, we are in the middle of this pandemic. So our leasing office, no residents are allowed into the office. So basically the door is locked, and so I just had to knock on the front. And so when our leasing representative came to me, I'm like, okay, my car was just broken into, and apparently there's other cars that got broken into. So then he gets to asking me questions. Okay, how many other cars? And at that moment, I'm just in my head thinking of how violated I feel that my car was just broken into, and the fact that during broad daylight, between the hours of noon and 2 p.m., somebody was able to punch in my windows, jack my car up, take off all of my wheels, hit a couple other cars, and dip. So that's what was going through my head at this time. So as he is asking me that, I'm like, no, I don't know. I'm not worried about anybody else's car but my own, and I'm pissed. And so he's like, okay, well, have you already called the police? Which, yeah, I did. They were on their way at that time. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to come check it out in just a second. But, when you have that police report, just, hand it over to us, and we're going to make sure that we handle this accordingly. I'm like, all right, bet. So by that point, the police arrive, and I bring them to my car. So they do a quick lap around the garage to see what other cars were affected and vandalized or whatever. While they're assessing my car and making note of my car, I think one thing that really frustrated me about the police in this area is the fact that they did not do any type of fingerprints, which I'm not even sure if that's protocol or not. I don't know. But they really just kind of okay, we made a note of it. Okay, this happened. All right. Boom, that was it. So again, I'm on the phone with my insurance. I'm trying to figure out, what can we do today immediately, because my car is exposed and my car is on bricks, and I feel like this community is not safe at the moment. I'm just heated. I'm like, okay, well, if I can't bring my car to my garage, where can I park it? Where can you go?
They didn't meet in my home, girl, because we feel like, well, damn, if you can't go to Better No Chase, where the hell could you go?
Because it's a Sunday, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, a lot of body shops, especially the ones that they have previously worked with and approve of, they were not open on Sunday. So aside from the fact that my car had got busted into and my rims were stolen, they also couldn't come and pick up my car and at the very least fix the glass that day. So I had to leave my car basically open to the public, open to whoever, wanted to come in, and if they wanted to grab any other parts of my car, they had that access all evening. So aside from being pissed about the fact that my insurance was just not able to do anything for me right then and there, I was pissed at the fact that this happened to my boyfriend just 2 months prior, and at least to my knowledge, no further security measures have been implemented to secure my property. So I was really pissed about that, and y'all would be too, so don't say anything. And so yeah, I go back down to my leasing office. I provide them with a police report, and I basically was telling my leasing consultant, here's my problem, the fact that my car got busted into. Here's what my proposed solution is, which was that they reimburse my rent, that they pay my deductible, and that they put in security cameras, because how can I possibly feel safe if this has happened multiple times and there's nothing being done about it? Y'all feel me? So those were my easy quick solutions. And so basically his response to me was, oh, well, you know, this is just the community that you live in. As if I live in the hood, which I don't. And, oh, well, you know, the garage is easy to access because, you know, other cars can tailgate into the garage, or, you know, somebody can easily walk in. Which, again, how does that make somebody feel comfortable or safe? You feel me? Like, that's not the professional way of handling it. And I understand that even at the time I might have been a little overwhelming because I was so frustrated, but his way of handling it was just like not okay. Aside from that, he was just like, you know, my car has never been broken into, so I can't say I understand, but you know, I'm really sorry. And again, you know, that doesn't remedy the situation none. So I'm telling him, like, you know, y'all are the one that's coming out of pocket. I'm not paying for it this time, because we had to pay for it when my boyfriend's car got broken into, and we just had to chalk all those L's and repurchase everything that he lost. You feel me? And so for it to happen again 2 months later, not only that, but we pay $60 a month for parking in the garage. So if we're paying $60 a month and at least 200 other residents are paying $60 a month, what is that going towards? Like, you know, if it's not going towards cameras, if it's not towards making sure that our property is as secure as possible, what is it going towards? And, you know, like, what's the problem? What's the point? And so, yeah, so I'm just fuming over that. And just his whole approach on that was just like incorrect, inappropriate, unacceptable. So after that situation, his only consolation was, okay, just do me a favor and send us an email as detailed as possible, which I will include right here if y'all care to read it. Go ahead and pause the video, and while you're doing so, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and let me know if your car has ever been broken into. And he's like, okay, and you're just gonna have to speak with the property manager because she's the only one who can remedy the situation. Great, understood. Wish he would have said that from the very beginning rather than dragging on the conversation and offering no solution and actually worsening it and making me feel a little less secure in my own home. But whatever. The very next day, right as soon as the leasing office opened, I go down there trying to, you know, seek a solution because, again, my car was just exposed all evening, and I was to the point where I didn't even want to go check on my car. Like, I really did not want to make sure that it was good. I didn't want to see if maybe somebody had went in and stole any other parts out of my car. But when it was broken into, I already went through and, like, after I got off the phone with insurance, I had went through and cleared out anything else that might have been sitting in there. Yeah, so no one was in the office when they were open, or when their office hours said that they would be open. But instead, I did receive a phone call from the regional office because I had reached out to them as well after I saw our leasing office wasn't open. I was like, all right, let me see who else is open. And so I was able to get in touch with the regional office for the apartment company. And so they had called me, which had made me feel a little bit better because the way that they were able to handle it was a lot more professional, and they were very apologetic of what my experience was the day before. Not only the fact that my car and others' cars were broken into, but the lack of professionalism. They also apologized because there was no email broadcast to the residents that there was an incident that occurred within the garage. And so another thing that brings me to believe is that if the community is not letting their residents know what's happening, especially when it's something as negative as like auto theft, or, you know, even just partial auto theft, I think that's a big deal, and the community needs to know about it. And if the community is not doing that, what other things are they sweeping under the rug, or what other things are going on here that we're not aware of? You feel me? There's other things that I've had to find out by reading our little community forum. And so again, it's just like, why are they not letting us know? Is there something wrong with management? What is the issue? Like, come on. But yeah, so when the regional director had called me, she made me feel a little bit better about the situation, although, like, you know, I'm still at a loss. I still have like a big old L on my forehead. But she was like, okay, well, we are not able to comp your rent because this is your last month living here and the credit would go towards the next month. So I'm SOL on that one. And then as far as my deductible, I was very firm in saying, you know, I want y'all to cover it because this is the fault of your property and the fact that your property is not secure. And her response to that is, oh, well, we can only cover 50 to 75% of that. Okay, well, 50 to 75% is not a dollar amount, and that's broad, and it's also not in writing. So that's my issue with that. But they were like, okay, well, once you get your receipts and everything, we will talk about reimbursing you. So I sat on that, and actually I need the full $500 reimbursed because the amount that I pay per month for how long I've lived here supersedes $500. So I need that back because otherwise I would have just parked on the street or parked, you know, somewhere else. I wouldn't have parked in the building. I would have been giving them my money if I didn't know that it was secure here. So yeah, that is what happened. I still don't have my car back. It has been about a week and a half since it happened. So I'm still waiting to get my car back. I will let y'all know what happens as soon as I get my car back because this is just ridiculous. And I really hope that where I live and where I will be moving to, I hope that I do not have this problem again because it's just unacceptable. It is just not okay. It really makes you feel violated. It really makes you feel disrespected. The fact that somebody was in my car that I don't know of, and it makes me very uncomfortable to know that my car was broken into broad daylight, that nobody heard my alarm go off, or that nobody, you know, saw somebody physically jacking my car up and removing my tires. It doesn't make me feel comfortable to know that for the duration of my lease, once I do get my car back, it doesn't make me feel comfortable knowing that I'm gonna have a brand new set of tires and a brand new set of rims on my car, and there's still no security measures. So yeah, we are going to hope that the property is able to assess the need for cameras as they said they're going to be doing. And I really hope that this is a learning lesson that I can pass on to y'all, that when you move in somewhere, that there are cameras or, you know, very low crime rate in that property, because crime is going to happen anywhere. It happens in high scale places and low scale places. But I really want this to be a teaching moment that y'all can really make sure that wherever you live is a secure place and that your community has your best interests at heart and that they are moving in accordance of what is best for you and what they would do if they were in a similar situation. So that is all I have for y'all. This is part 1 of the story time, and yeah, I'll just update y'all as the story progresses. I'm getting ready to move out this place, but trust and believe they're not getting rid of me until I get my money back. Not only for my car, but for my dad's Ubers and all that. So until next time, y'all, I will talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.